My name is Mike Davis. I'm the president of Throat MMA. In my other job, I'm heavily involved with law enforcement. And in my other line of work, I see a lot of people going down different avenues that are really self-destructive and bad, not only for themselves, but for the community. In tonight's episode, I really wanted to focus on the fighters, not only that may have gone down that path in the past, but also kind of rerouted and have made a difference not only in their own lives, in their families' lives, but also the communities. Kent Rexford has told me he did a little time. I'm not sure as to how much, but when dealing with him, he's one of the most genuine people that I have worked with up until this point, from a camp that I don't really know. The guy goes out of his way to not only help me out personally, but our organization.
My name is Uncle Kent Rexford. I fight for Wrecking Ball Fight Facility. I've been fighting for probably 3 years now. I started out smoking weed at 13 and drinking the same time. And around 15 or 16, I started meeting kids that were gangbanging, and man, I like that, you know, fighting all the time and getting into trouble and just being rambunctious, dude. So I got into that, you know, and before that it was always good. I was football and wrestling, you know, the star too, dude. No little punk, you know. So I had life by the balls already, jagged it off, dude. Ended up going to jail, and then ended up selling some cocaine to a cop, and ended up doing 7.5 years behind it, you know, straight. So it's hard because no matter what you say, you know, until you walk a mile in them shoes, you're not going to believe what anybody tells you, man, you know. But if it's drugs and selling drugs that you think is the way of life, it's not going to work out, because all the money you save is going to go for a lawyer or your bond, or you're not going to have nothing in the end. They're going to take your toys, all your cars are going to be gone, all your jewelry, everything that you've acquired through, you know, selling drugs and the illegal you're doing is gone. Now your freedom's gone. Like, if you want to do something, you know, especially if it's on the violent side, beating somebody up, come here, man. This is it, dude. This is where guys need to come. I try to get, you know, so many kids. I help teach wrestling in the winter, and I just love when these kids grab a hold and hold on, because, man, instead of being that piece of where I'm dragging people down, now it's like, yeah, grab a hold. Let's go, man. We're going to the top.
Steve Cologne is a guy that is 100% the real deal. There's no half-stepping with Steve. There's no faking it with Steve. When you go to a gym like Steve Cologne's gym and you got a kid, if you're one of those parents to where it's just like, no, you got to talk nice to my kid, or, you know, don't discipline my kid, I wouldn't even show up over there. That guy's old school. And what made him that way is the way he grew up. And I truly believe that no matter what Steve does, he's going to be a success in life. We are lucky, not only as a society, but as a community in the mixed martial art world, to have him involved in MMA, because he's taking these kids that came from the same way of life that he came from and trying to cuff them from the streets into his gym. In fact, I think probably the first 5 years his gym opened, I don't believe he had one paying student. And it wasn't because he was giving them freebies. It was because the kids he was taking in, they couldn't afford gym dues even if they wanted to pay.
My name is Steve Cologne, founder of Team Cologne MMA. My key thing was to try to keep the focus of these kids that grew up in Gary. You know, we're from the Etna part of Gary, and it's kind of out by the dunes. It's, you know, in the wooded area, small little neighborhood, a lot of drug dealing, a lot of gang banging. You know, everybody out there is just, we came the same way. We're all cut from the same cloth. You know, it's just about the hustle in the street. And I didn't like being around that. You know, my brother followed that path, and it ended up wrong for him, man. I mean, he's been in prison for quite some time now. It's not something that I like talking about, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? He's been locked up for about 13 years now, and that's been a big motivation for me, you know what I mean? Just seeing what he's going through and what my family's been put through all this time. I wanted to get back to these kids and show them, look, man, we all came from the same family, we came from the same neighborhood. You know, we didn't have any guidance, we did what we did. You know, his mistake taught me to walk a different path. And that's what I want to get back to the kids from my neighborhood, the kids from the surrounding neighborhoods. I try to unite everybody together. It's not where you're from, it's how you come. It's about putting in the work, man, and just paying your dues. You know, I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for my kids that I taught in high school wrestling, for them going out, coming back to me and looking for guidance. They motivated me. The mistakes my brother made motivated me. With the mistakes that people make as young kids, it's unfortunate that they have to pay a lifetime for a simple mistake that they made when they were young adults or young, you know, older teenagers. You know, when you don't have any guidance, you know what you're gonna do. I want to erase that for people. I want to make sure I get them on the right path, so that way they're not making those same mistakes. I'm speaking from experience. You know what I mean? I'm speaking from experience. I know I can't sit there and talk about other people's lives. I walked it. I seen it. You know, I seen death around me. My brother going to prison. My father dying at a young age. You know what I mean? You get lost out there. And, you know, and all we needed was, all a person needs is just one person to inspire them, to motivate them. You know, and that's what I want to give back.
Robles Gumby. When I first met him, his name rang a bell, and if you look at his family's history, that guy's he's got the perfect pedigree for somebody that's involved in street activity. And when you talk to the guy, he is somebody that is really determined in order not to go back to that way of life. I believe, and I've said this to him, that if he wasn't as young as he was when he got in trouble, he'd probably be sitting in jail for the rest of his life. This is someone that I believe truly, this is their second chance at life and living.
My name is Robles, better known as Gumby. I work out at No Comment Martial Arts, mixed martial arts MMA gym that basically saved my life and a couple other guys that I know here better known. Save our lives, I should say. You know what I mean? Gives us something to do, a place to go, call home at the end of the day, other than the corner, you know what I mean? MMA changed my life basically because I was raised fast in the street life. I was raised that basically my mom was diagnosed with cancer at 10 years old, lupus. My father was arrested at the age of 3 when I was 3. I didn't get to see him or know who he was till I was like 13. I was out there hustling on the streets, doing what I had to do. Got caught up in the fast life, ended up catching a case, went to jail, did 8 years in prison. Didn't have no time out, nobody, you know what I mean? Basically took me from everybody I love, everything I know, and put me in a place where I didn't want to be. When I got out, I made a decision to stop doing that, stop hanging out corners, stop messing around. Basically Josh and the team here, basically everybody here at No Comment took me and embraced me as like a little brother. They kept me out of trouble for most of the time. They gave me a place to do what I wanted to do. I got a place to take care of my aggression, get my anger out, and I get to fight, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, as long as you're a good sportsman, I get to walk out of the cage, you know what I mean? I ain't got to worry about somebody coming to shoot me for fighting at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But the old life of me, you know what I mean? I would have had to worry about that, which is, obviously, I got shot. I got shot with a 40 cal. I got skin grafts on both sides of my leg, hit my main artery, almost bled to death in front of my mother's house. I was 15 years old. My cousin got shot with me. You know, I basically made a lot of bad decisions in life. Now I'm trying to change all that now for the better.
Jay Strada and I have been together since his first fight. In fact, he's the first guy I've ever managed. And not only did he fight in order to change his life, but he's now really involved himself in the community. Like, he's taking these kids from the hood and bringing them to our shows. Every show he's got 2 or 3 kids there that are kind of on that, they're at the deciding point of which avenue they're going to go, and he's trying to swing them towards the MMA route, the fighting route, maybe even if it doesn't translate into that, to them doing something other than hanging out in the street.
My name is Jay Strada. Currently I'm the cutthroat referee. I grew up down 26th Street, Little Village, Southside Chicago. Pretty much grew up like a lot of kids from Little Village, single family home, no father, poor, on welfare. Growing up without a father figure around. My father was in a penitentiary when I was born. By the time my father had come out released from prison, I already had started getting involved with kids in the neighborhood, started running with the wrong crowd. Usually by 8th grade, freshman year in high school, I was pretty active in the gangs. I was a disciple from the South Side. Drug dealing was my primary focus because that was my income. That's how I survived. That's how I got my money. And being involved in the gangs was helped me get my income. You know, the younger kids on the block would help move my product. Being plugged in an organization would help me protect my safety. So if I ever got incarcerated, that I was protected once I got in because I was running with the mob. What I'm doing now, I currently have worked for Ceasefire, which is gang adventure program in Illinois. Right now I'm working for Urban Life Skills in Little Village on 27th and Lawndale, working as a mentor, trying to work with these kids in the street, try to fill that void that they have. I would say mixed martial arts definitely saved my life, had a huge impact on my life. A lot of the people I've grown up with were now sitting in prison looking at 5, 10, 15 years on drug cases. Many of my friends I've grown up with are not here to this day because they're passed away through gang violence and brutal deaths. You know, so I think at that point, walking into that gym the first day, I think I knew I found a new home.
See all these people walking by? They're customers. Well, potential customers. Want to make them your customers? Show them your Mobsa. By showing them your Mobsa, they know that there is a money-saving coupon waiting for them on their smartphone for your business. By using Mobsa, you're showing your customers that you care about them and the environment. No more time wasted clipping coupons because your coupon is on their phone. To turn all of these people into your customers, go to mobsav.com. That's MOBSAV.com. Join the mob.
Danny Morales, he's one of these kids that possibly could have gone through the same path that a lot of the people that we had featured on tonight's program, but he didn't. Like, he found MMA a little earlier than them, which is why these guys are concentrating to try to cuff the Danny Moraleses of the world before they kind of go down that wrong avenue. You know, hey, there's another life out there. All right, you're a fighter. Come fight with, come fight over here where it's safe and legal.
I started getting into trouble when I was 12 years old. That's when I started hanging with the wrong crowd, having other gangs come into the town and, coming with their guns, their weapons, everything. My life was at risk, like 24/7. I was like running from the cops or, like fighting, getting in trouble. Just like my life was at risk. If I look at it now, like it like kind of takes my breath thinking about what could have happened if it would have went the wrong way. I believe, like, for my mom and dad, it definitely caused them a lot of stress. Having your 12-year-old kid running around at 12 years old, like, what would you be thinking, Like, especially with that type of crowd, like, they could get a phone call and, it might be that one phone call, like, hey, your son, is gone.
Rosa Galvez.
And you are?
Danny's mom. He was smart. Very smart. He's starting to hang out with the wrong kids. It's why he's starting to get in trouble. It's why we plan move to Plainfield. I thought it can help him. Whatever you're doing now is gonna affect it in your future.
I thought I was on top of the world. I thought I was a man, and I was only a kid. I was 12 years old, like doing stuff like that. Like they would give orders, and I would go jump, somebody. Go beat somebody up for no reason. I just can't imagine, a little kid doing what I was doing at 12. Like, it's just insane. I got incarcerated when I was 17 for violating my parole. I got a DUI 07 of December, and I was there for 3 months. I met like a volunteer. He does volunteer work and like holds like Christian Bible study. And then one day he gave me a magazine, and in that magazine, like I just started going through it. There was like an article about MMA in Brazil, and like they show like a guy, like a picture of a guy like jumping in midair, like about to like foot stomp his face. And I was just like, man, I was like, I want to do something like that. The other inmates would look at the pictures like, dude, that's brutal. Like, you want to do that? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, I don't want to mess with you, man. So my first fight, my friend gave me a call and he was like, hey, do you want to fight tomorrow, like in this MMA event? He's like, yeah, we need an 85-pounder. And I was like, well, I'm right around 190. And I fought.
The energy, the mama's boy against the machine, and the machine with the right kick right there connects. A lot of energy all of a sudden in the building for this fight.
Pushed me up against the cage and he starts unleashing these punches on my ribs right here, and that's where he broke it. And I knew I had to start pushing the pace because I felt it and it didn't feel comfortable at all. So I had to put him up against the cage. I tried working some strikes, and then he tried taking me down. And there he goes attempting the takedown. I defend it, and then I get the underhooks, and then I get him mount, and then I try keeping my composure, trying to trying to calm down, catch my breath.
The chants of Danny ring throughout.
Fight is going back and forth
Sports
here.
Zone in Aurora right now. Armbar attempt right now by Danny.
Oh,
Shane
catch with the
throwing
right.
nice punches though. Shane needs to grab his bicep right now, and he's grabbing his wrist. That's not as strong. He needs to grab his bicep.
Quick, pull me out, pull me out.
What is it now?
There's a deal right here.
20% off printer paper. I needed printer paper.
I knew you did, dog.
Mobsa.com is the new free location-based mobile coupon service. No need to clip, cut, buy, or forget coupons at home because they're all right here on your mobile phone.
I saved her 20% off her pizza.
I got him a buy one, get one free.
Join the mob.
My last fight, I ended up getting my rib fractured in the first round. I believe they told me that I'd be out from like 6 to 8 weeks. Right when it happened, I knew it. Like, it was just, in the back of my mind, I knew it was broken, but I just didn't know like what exactly it was. But I just knew right away. I felt it, and that's what it drove me for it made me more urgent to finish the fight, and that's why I was just trying to knock him out, put that right hand on him, or kick him in the head or something. I was just trying to put him out right away to get out of there. And between the round, I was feeling my rib. I knew it was broken. I didn't want to tell my coach because I wanted him to worry about telling me what to do, and I didn't want him worrying about my injury or my rib. So I just wanted me to worry about it. And I just wanted him to coach me. So I didn't tell him first, like in between the first and second or the second and third, but if you see in the video, you could see I went to touch my rib for a second, but I didn't want to baby it, so I just touched it for a split second, and I just let it go. I didn't want to see that I was injured. I didn't want my opponent to see that I was injured, so I just let it go right away, but no, I didn't tell my coach. But right after the fight, the doctors were telling me that it's broken, and I need to go to the hospital right away, and I need to jump in the ambulance and get on the stretcher. But me and my coaches agreed that we would just drive up there. I was in the back, and I was definitely in pain. I couldn't even stand. I had to sit down, take pictures of everybody sitting down, and I was very delirious. My memory after the fight was a little blurred. That's how messed up it was. I'd say the hardest part about being injured is just pretty much watching everybody do what I can't do. I want to get back in here. I went from training every day, hard, twice a day, to not being able to do what I love to do. So, I'm starving to just get in there and just start training, sparring, rolling, doing all the jiu-jitsu technique, everything. I'm still able to do whatever I could tolerate, which is conditioning and running and push-ups. That's pretty much it. Let's go, man. With this injury, it's very touchy. The pain comes random. I could be feeling great one minute, next minute I'm sneezing and it's just hurting, killing me, I could barely move.
Danny Morales, there's a couple things in his favor. He's a 20-year-old kid, he's good looking, he's Hispanic, he's bilingual. All of those things, in my opinion, as a fighter, are all very sellable. I mean, it's somebody that it makes it easier as a promoter to promote somebody like Danny. And, as a company, I get excited when I see guys like him fight for us.
Danny Morales, the first time I ever seen him compete was at a small show in Lamont. There's maybe 50 people in the audience, 4 fights on the card, if that. And unfortunately, I saw him eat this big head kick knockout that just took him out of the fight. After that, I was wondering, well, this kid looks decent. What he's going to possess in the future. Who knows? I thought he might have been broken after that one. Then later on, I start hearing this kid keeps going on tears. Taking names, beating basically anybody they put in front of him. So he kind of went around the ranks, other fights and other promotions, kind of taking their belts and just, you know, basically with ease. And finally, I caught up with Danny and I says, well, this is what I got for you. You know, we can, you know, let's get a couple fights here. Let's build you up a little bit and then possibly give you a title push. So the 170-pound division, it's a pretty tough division. We've had some very tough competitors in the cutthroat promotion, but I think Danny could be considered one of the elite.
Well, one of the things that helps Danny in the cage is his hard work outside the cage. He's willing to get all the conditioning we want to put him through. Every class, every sparring match, there's a guy at the beginning we can push hard, not only technically but physically and mentally. So that's the work that he does outside the cage that helps him inside the cage.
He's one of the hardest workers at the gym. He trains like he's a pro, and he is fast. He's very, very fast with his striking. He picks up everything. He pretty much picks up real quick. You know, only takes about 20 minutes of showing him something, and he's doing it, and he can do it against better guys. So I can absolutely see Danny going, making it into a big show, just off of his work ethic alone.
As a fighter, I have seen him I've seen him fight a handful of times, and the progression that he has made from the first time I saw him until recently, it's somebody that has got real good stand-up, real good hands, to a fighter that's now constantly working on the ground, constantly looking for submissions, changing angles, and it's something that I haven't seen from him or his previous camps up until this time.
The reason why top of the food chain signed Danny was because he's just an all-around great fighter. Saw him at the gym about probably 6 months ago training with Lucas on Muay Thai. Just a phenomenal fighter, and as I started learning and started seeing more of his skill set, I was just more impressed. Now, just put it on the table, guys. Danny is still an amateur fighter, and as you guys know, amateur fighters do not get signed by any kind of management. So Danny is something special that I see in him. We're investing a lot of money in him, and basically what it comes down to is I think it'll all pay off because, as I said again, I think he's going to be a phenomenal fighter. And here's something that I want to throw out there to you guys, and actually a lot of fighters are out there are going to be real scared about this. Danny's only 20 years old, and he's got the skill set of a mature fighter. So imagine what he's going to be at when he's 2 years from now. The evolution of him going to transition into a full-on professional fighter is phenomenal. The chances of him making it to the big time is phenomenal. So that's when we signed him.
That's perfect. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. This opportunity, like I'm not gonna let it go, and like I'm definitely not gonna let it go. I see where it's bringing me. You know, I wouldn't never travel to Puerto Rico if I never started MMA and fought out there. I wouldn't. You know, I know there's still more opportunities. You know, you guys wouldn't be in front of me here. You know, if I didn't keep this opportunity, I'm gonna take advantage of it. But like what keeps me going mainly is you know, I want to make life easier for my family, you know, make it more comfortable to live, and you know, this is what I love. You know, this is what I love to do, and it makes me happy if I'm doing this every day, even though I don't have a life outside of it. You know, like this is what I want to keep doing, and you know, like for me to just throw that away and you know, get into a fight with somebody at the bar, or get into a fight with somebody at the club or something, or just you know, maybe mess up my parole or something, like just for one little thing, like for me to do one little thing and to throw all that away, I wouldn't be able to live with that regret. With all the faith and support from my family and my friends, you know, that's all I need. That's all the fuel that this machine needs.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the 9th fight by a unanimous decision, and fighting out of the red corner, Danny the Machine Morales.
Watching tonight's program, you could relate to some of these fighters and say, you know what, maybe I'm on the fence. You know, maybe mixed martial arts can save my life. You know, look at the people that we featured tonight. You know, get involved. You know, even if it's just going locally or getting involved in a local show, you know, and dedicating your time. it's not going to hurt anybody, and it's fun, you know. And if you think you can fight, find a local gym. They're popping up all over.